everyone. So we will be starting our session. Hope everybody is fine. Stay safe, stay healthy. My name is Shabna. I am taking care of Infection Control Department for Medeor Hospital, Alain. So everybody is now aware about what is COVID-19. Even small kids, students, parents, everyone is aware about this because we are going through a pandemic situation of COVID-19. So I will just give you a brief session about what are the symptoms, what are the protocols and precautions that you need to follow so that we will not spread this infection, and what are the diagnostic tests that is being done for these COVID patients, what are the government rules and regulations and Department of Health protocols that we need to follow. Okay. So first of all, upon completing this session, you will be able to know what is COVID-19, what are the symptoms of COVID-19, what are the investigations that is done, how COVID-19 spreads, how to prevent the transmission of COVID-19, what are the treatments available, and what are the local rules or regulatory protocols that is the whole public need to be followed. First, World Health Organization or WHO, they have reported the outbreak of a disease originating in Wuhan city, that is in China, in 2019. And this particular disease was spread by a group of virus called coronavirus. And initially it was known as coronavirus or novel coronavirus. So these patients who are being diagnosed with this particular disease were all who have been visited a seafood live animal market, and since that market was closed and disinfected. So origin of this pandemic was from a city in China. That was in December 2019. What is COVID-19? So we all know COVID-19 is the short form of coronavirus disease, which was emerged in 2019. So that name came COVID-19. Coronavirus means it's a large family of viruses. Okay. And this family of coronavirus have different types of viruses, which causes different types of respiratory diseases like common cold. And in that, a particular coronavirus that was identified in 2019, and the name of that virus was SARS-CoV-2. And the disease or the respiratory illness that is caused by particular virus is COVID-19. So we call this disease as COVID-19, and the virus which causes this disease is SARS-CoV-2, severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. That means there was another virus SARS-CoV-1 which already caused such disease previously. So this is called SARS-CoV-2. Okay. This is the structure of virus. I don't want to go and explain the structure because you will get confused. So we all know that what is a virus? Virus means it is a minute microorganism which we cannot view with our naked eyes or normal eyes. It is a very small microorganism which can be viewed only under microscope. So we cannot see this microorganism, but this is highly pathogenic. That means it has the capacity to cause infections and diseases once it enters into our body. What are the symptoms of COVID-19 infection? We all know that these are the common symptoms of COVID-19 infection, that is fever, cough, sore throat, fatigue, and some have difficulty of breathing. So the symptoms will start one day after the exposure, and it can last for 14 days. And most of the people, they develop the symptoms within 5 to 6 days. So when we are exposed to this virus, after the day one, the symptoms might start and it will last for 14 days. That is the incubation period. But most commonly, the people develop on 5th and 6th day of exposure. So these are the basic symptoms: fever, cough, sore throat, fatigue, and difficulty of breathing. But there are also some other symptoms like most of the people have body pain, headache, muscle pain. Then to some extent, some people have sudden loss of their smell and taste. Some have runny nose, some have stuffy nose, nausea, vomiting temptation, diarrhea, rash. So all these are also symptoms of COVID-19. Some people will not have any symptoms, but they might be carriers of this virus. So once we do the test, these people are reported as positive even if they don't have any symptoms. So what are the tests that is done for COVID-19? So when we are sick, we are diagnosed with all these symptoms, we go to the hospital. So from the hospital, basically the doctors will do some blood test. Along with that, they will do the swab test. That swab test is either they take the swab from the nasopharyngeal or from the oropharyngeal, and this test swab is sent for a test called RT-PCR, real-time polymerase chain reaction. This is the name of the test, and this is the confirmatory test of COVID-19. Okay. Of course, they can see some variations in the blood test and all for a patient who is COVID-19 infected, but the confirmatory test is RT-PCR. Does the virus spread from one person to another? Yes, of course, this virus spread from one person to another. That is why this disease is being spread in the whole world and is a pandemic situation now. How COVID-19 spread? So, basically, COVID-19 spread through the respiratory droplets. For example, if a person is infected and a person is speaking, the droplets are expelled out. So, these droplets carry this virus, SARS-CoV-2 virus, and that can infect another person. Touching the objects with virus. For example, an object, a surface, is being contaminated with the droplets, or the person who is detected with COVID-19 has touched that surface. So another person come and touch. So that virus get transmitted. And also close contact with a person who is being infected, and direct contact, giving shake hand or hugging, that is a direct contact with the infected patients. So through all these ways, the virus get spread from one person to another. So through respiratory droplets, by touching, through close contact less than 2 meters or 6 feet, and direct contact with the infected person. How to reduce the spread of COVID-19 infection? If you develop any symptoms, so how we will reduce the spread of COVID-19? If a person is being diagnosed with any symptoms, so he should not spread this infection to anybody else in the public. So what are the precautions that we need to take care? If you have any symptoms, if it's mild, stay home, see the doctor, follow the local guidelines. And second, you have to wash your hands frequently. This is very important part. Hand washing by using alcohol sanitizer or by using soap or water. I know everybody is aware about the importance of hand washing, because now wherever we go outside, we go to school, come back from school, every time we need to follow the alcohol or soap based hand hygiene. Next, cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing. So we have to cover our mouth while coughing or sneezing. You have to follow cough etiquette. You should not cough directly into your hand, or you should not cough in an openly without covering your mouth. You have to cover your mouth by using tissue, or you will be wearing mask. Don't remove the mask while coughing or sneezing, or you have to cover your cough by using your elbows. So cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing, because we told these viruses are spreading through droplets. So if it is not covered, these droplets are carrying the viruses. And avoid touching your face, eyes, nose, mouth, especially if you have touched on the different surfaces like handrails, door handles in the public areas. So with the same hand, you don't touch your face, eyes, nose, mouth, etc. Do not share food, drinks, and personal items, including mobile phones. Clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces regularly. You have to use some chemicals or disinfectant wipes and clean the surfaces which you are using, especially your working area, your desk, your study table, wherever it is, you have to keep it always disinfected. Do not travel if you are sick. Okay. So these are all the uh, things that you need to follow if you want to prevent the spread of COVID-19 infections. And as I told you, hand hygiene, this is the important tool, hand hygiene. We know that our hands are carrying all the germs. So if we could see what our hands are carrying, definitely we will wash our hands, because all the microorganisms are in our hands, because we touch everywhere, we carry the objects, everything we do with our hands. So if you could see the germs present in your hand, you would definitely wash your hands. Everyone is aware about the 6 steps of hand washing. I'm sure everyone knows that, but still I will repeat what are the 6 steps of hand washing. If we simply wash our hand by using alcohol or soap solution, it will not clean all parts of our hands, because our hands carry different areas which cannot be covered while you are practicing the normal hand washing. So in order to the effectiveness of hand hygiene, you have to follow the 6 steps of hand hygiene. First is palm to palm. Second step, palm over dorsal. Third step, back of the fingers. Fourth step, thumb rotation. Fifth, fingers interlaced. And sixth is tip of the fingers. Okay. So these are the 6 steps everybody should follow, so that your hands are free from virus or any other germs. Okay, because these are some areas in the hand. If it will not be it will disinfected, or microorganism will stay there if it is not properly washed or the steps are not followed. So 6 steps of hand hygiene is to be followed by everyone. Even if you wear gloves, after removing the gloves, you have to practice hand hygiene. So wearing a gloves is not a replacement for hand hygiene. So after removing the gloves, you have to do 6 steps of hand hygiene, either by using alcohol sanitizer or by using soap and water. Next, I will speak about the face mask. We all use face mask. Now I am not using face mask because I am sitting in my office and it is a closed office. But if anybody is sitting in the office, you need to wear mask. So what are the do's and don'ts? Because we can see so many people using mask in a wrong way, which will be having the negative effect than the positive effect. Okay. So when putting on a mask, first clean your hands and put your mask so that it fully covers your mouth and nose. Okay. You can see in the PPT, do secure. If you are using the one with the bands, secure the bands around your ears. If you are using the one with ties, tie it properly so that this nose and mouth is covered properly, and you cannot, the air from outside cannot come inside through the gaps. So it should be secured properly. So when wearing a mask, what are the don'ts? Like, you should not do the following. What is that? Don't wear your mask under your nose or under your mouth. We can see the people while they are speaking, they remove the mask and hang it. It is not a good practice. Don't allow the strap to hang down. Don't cross the straps. That means if you are using the mask with a strap, don't just put one strap and hang the other one. That is not a good practice. And do not touch or adjust a mask without cleaning. We can see so many people when they are wearing mask, after going to public, after going outside, while they are speaking, they touch on the mask, they touch everywhere. It's an already contaminated part of the mask. If you again touch with your hands, what you are doing? All the germs or viruses present on that part will be in your hand. With the same hand, you will touch everywhere. So you are cross contaminating or spreading the germs. Don't wear the mask on your head. Don't wear face mask around the neck. Don't hang it around your neck. Don't wear the mask around your arms. So these are all the wrong practices which should not be followed. While removing mask, clean your hands and remove your face mask, touching only the straps or ties. Okay. While you want to dispose the mask after the use, just remove by removing the ties or the straps. Okay, you do not take the mask like this. Okay, and after removing the mask, do hand hygiene. And the very frequently observed wrong practice is the below two practices. Reusing of disposable face mask. Better we have to use disposable mask, and disposable mask means it should not be reused. Once you use it, you dispose it. Okay, and don't keep the face mask in your purse or pocket to reuse later. Keep the mask going to the supermarket or going to the shops, coming back, removing the same mask, keeping it there, again reusing. This is a wrong practice and it should not be followed. And again, removing, keeping in your pockets, keeping in your purse, reusing, this is also wrong practice. So masks should be properly worn, properly removed, and proper hand hygiene need to be followed. And coming to social distancing tips, we all hear that maintain social distance, maintain social distance. This is an important golden rule for preventing the spread of COVID-19. So 2 meters or 6 feet distance, that is the social distance that need to be followed. Okay, and you have to stay home when you are sick and avoid crowded places. No gatherings, no party, no meetings, nothing. You should avoid all the situations for a crowded place. And if you have to meet anyone, maximum try to be online or through phone. If you are meeting person to person, it should be by maintaining social distance. You have to engage more in physical activities. Okay, and do not shake hand, kiss or hug. Okay, and if you wanted a consultation, until and unless it's necessary to see the doctor, you can go to the hospital. Otherwise you can do teleconsultations or consultation over the phone. Stay home as much as practically possible and work from home. If you wanted to order your essentials, maximum do it online or on phone. Keep face-to-face interactions very brief. Choose private vehicles and maximum try to avoid public transportation. And you have to stay connected with your friends and family virtually and minimize the physical gatherings, especially the iftar parties, gatherings, and all Eid is coming. So we have to be careful, like we have to avoid such gatherings. It is helping not only us, but the whole community. Okay. And maximum takeaways or outdoor dinings. Now, what is mean by close contacts? A person is reported COVID positive. So how we know that who are the close contacts of this person? The definition, this is given by Department of Health, being within 2 meters of a person who is COVID-19 for more than 15 minutes. That means sharing the office or sharing the same room and being more than 15 minutes close, that is in below 2 meters. Direct physical contact with the COVID-19 case and living in the same household with the COVID-19. So all these are the categories of close contact. Okay. Coming to the treatments. Now we identified what are the symptoms of COVID-19, how the COVID-19 spreads, what are the precautions that we can implement to avoid the spreading of COVID-19. And in case if anybody is detected with COVID-19, is there any treatments? There is no specific treatment for COVID-19. However, there are some supportive treatments that can be given to the person. Supportive treatment means we told that there are symptoms like fever, cough, sore throat, headache, body pain. So we can treat for the symptoms or symptomatic treatment. For example, if you have fever, the doctor will prescribe you Adol, paracetamol for reducing the temperature. Other, if you have pain, body pain, painkillers will be given. But for children, painkillers should not be taken until and unless consulted by a pediatric doctor. It is not advised to give painkillers to your children. And then if you have cough, you can take cough syrup, and then you can take use room humidifiers, take hot shower that will keep your body like help to ease the sore throat, cough, etc. And drink a plenty of liquids. Okay, drink a lot of water, juices, increase your intake of fruits and vegetables, and especially those fruits and vegetables that will boost your immunity and rich in vitamin C. And if you are more concerned about your symptoms, if your symptoms are not subsiding, or it is not, you are not relieving from the symptoms, you have to seek the advice of your doctor. So we told that there is no specific treatment for this virus disease. Is there vaccine against COVID-19? We all know that recently the vaccines have been developed for COVID-19, and in Abu Dhabi, in UAE, especially in Abu Dhabi Emirate, everybody can book the appointment and get the COVID-19 vaccine from government sectors or from private sectors. So the vaccines are available now. Also it is available. So it is better to take the vaccine and protect against COVID-19. We all know that this is a 2-dose vaccine, and this vaccine is given like 21 days apart, 2 doses, and you will develop the immunity. That is, your body will develop immunity, antibody against this viral infection. And everybody cannot take the vaccine. There are some categories who cannot take, or who are excluded from COVID-19 vaccination. Pregnant women, nursing mothers, people with immunodeficiency disease, and women who are planning to be pregnant in the coming 3 months, children under 16 years of age. Only who are above 16 years are entitled to get or to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. People who are being allergic to any of the vaccine components. Okay, so when you go for vaccine, they will ask you, do you have any allergic reactions to any of the medicines or any vaccines previously? So if you have allergic reactions, so better to avoid taking the vaccine. Except all these exclusions, everybody can go for COVID-19 vaccines. Then coming to the Department of Health protocol. So what is the regulatory protocols or the DOH requirements in case we have been diagnosed positive or we have been in contact with a positive case? First, if you have any symptoms, what you have to do? As I told you, if you have developed any symptoms, fever, cough, sore throat, body pain, headache, vomiting, diarrhea, you have lost your smell or tasting capacity, so immediately see the doctor, and you follow all the precautions, wear mask, social distancing, hand hygiene, go to the doctor, get tested, and in case you are tested positive, what you have to do? So if you are being tested from a facility and you have been reported positive, you will receive an SMS in your mobile that your test report is positive. Kindly visit the following government SEHA centers for the repeat test. So for Al-Ain, it is COVID-19 Primary Assessment Center in the Convention Center Al-Khabisi. For Abu Dhabi, this is outpatient clinic in Al Mafraq Hospital. So these are the two places where you have to go, and from there they will do one more test, and based upon your symptoms, if you are symptomatic, you are asymptomatic, you have mild symptoms, you have severe symptoms, they will categorize you either to go for home quarantine or to institutional quarantine or for field hospital. So if you are eligible for home quarantine, they will be you will be entitled for home quarantine. They will put a tracking watch and send you to home quarantine. If you cannot have the facility of home quarantine, you will be sent for institutional quarantine. If you have symptoms, mild or moderate symptoms, you will be sent to the field hospital. And what if I have a close contact with positive case? Once you are reported positive, so you will be called and tracing will be done for the close contacts. So as I told you, who are the close contacts? The people who are staying with you, the people who have shared your office, your workplace more than 15, more than 2 meter, less than 2 meters, and without proper mask or proper precautions. And then if you have direct contact with the person, all these are the contact people of this COVID case. Whoever in contact with the COVID case also need to go and do the test, and they have to go for the quarantine protocol as per the instruction from the SEHA or from the respective hospitals. So as I told you, follow the quarantine protocol for the positive cases as per instructed by the SEHA. So they will ask you for quarantine with wash, and they will repeat the test. If it is positive, every 4 days they will repeat. And once you are negative, 2 consecutive negative, you will be asked to go back to the convention center, and they will remove the tracking watch. And for some cases, after 10 days, still positive, but they don't have any symptoms, completely free of symptoms, it depends on SEHA, they will remove the watch and they will give you a clearance. Okay. So this is the protocol or quarantine protocol that you need to follow in case you are detected positive or you have a close contact with the positive case. Now, I will just show you what is the quarantine procedure for travelers. This is also according to the Abu Dhabi Public Health Center. If you are traveling from green countries and non-green countries, like other countries. So if you are traveling from green countries and you are vaccinated, you don't have to go for any quarantine. So the green countries means you can go to Google and get the green countries listed by UAE. There are certain countries. So if you're traveling from that countries, the quarantine is not required, and you will, if vaccinated, you will have to repeat the test on the 6th day of landing. So day 1 will be the day of landing, and the 6th day you will need to go for the test. And if you are traveling from a green country but not vaccinated, still you don't have to go for quarantine, but you have to repeat the test on the 6th day and 12th day. And all the people arriving from other countries, they have to strictly go for 10 days quarantine. That also institutional quarantine or home quarantine depends upon the availability of or eligibility of that person for home quarantine. There are certain eligibility criteria. Once the SEHA check and find you are eligible, they will send you for home quarantine. So in that case also, you will go for 10 days quarantine, and they will put an electric watch or tracking watch, and on the 8th day you will repeat the test, and day 10 they will remove the watch. So this is the quarantine protocol for people who are arriving to UAE from green countries and non-green countries or other countries. Next, just to give an awareness about the border rules, still it is the same. If you are coming to Abu Dhabi, if you have done PCR test within 48 hours of receiving the negative result, you have to cross the border. Once you cross the border, the day is cross the border is calculated as day 1, and you have to do PCR test on 4th day and 8th day for PCR. If you are doing a DPI or a laser test, entry should be within 24 hours of getting the report, and you have to test on the day 3 of the entry. And who are staying more than 48 hours, they have to do an additional PCR test on day 7, and for day 7 for who are staying for more than 7 days. So if you are vaccinated, once you do the PCR test, you will receive in your Al Hosn application e-status. So if you are crossing the border with the e-status, then you don't need to do the test on the 8th day and 4th day if e-status is active while you are crossing the border. So this is the border rule. So I will just for your information, this is the statistics of till today, 29/4/9/21 AM, the global statistics of COVID-19, it has crossed 149 million cases, and the death is crossed 3 million, and the countries mentioned are in the highest number of cases reported. So just for your awareness, and we all have to keep in mind, we need to follow all the precautions. We have to be aware about the government rules and regulations. We have to follow the local rules. In case if we develop any symptoms, please do not go out, do not go for work, do not go to school, stay in the room. You have to follow all the precautions, go to the hospital, get tested, and follow the quarantine protocols. So it will protect not only us, our family, the whole community you are protecting. And just for an awareness, I will give a small slide on coping with the stress during COVID-19. So we should not always listen to the news like COVID-19, checking social media for every time how many cases, what is the status. So it will disturb our mind. And also you should not listen to any wrong rumors or any informations which are not from a reliable source. Always gather informations from reliable source. Keep yourself possibly health, do good exercise, you have to take healthy food items, increase your intake of fruits and vegetables, especially immunity boosting vegetables and fruits and food items which are rich in vitamin C. Sleep well, you have to do physical activities, practice positive thinking, and also engage in activities that keep you stimulated and entertained, because most of the time we are sitting at home, online classes, working from home. So sitting in a closed atmosphere will give us mentally some stress and tension. So we have to do all these things to get relaxed or to remain positive. Okay. So again, once again, I'm reminding you about the 3 golden rules. Wear the mask all the time, maintain the social distancing, proper hand washing should be followed. So these are the 3 golden rules that need to be followed so that we will not transmit or we will not acquire COVID-19 infection. So I hope everybody got an idea about the COVID-19, the transmission method, what are the symptoms, what are the local rules and protocols that we need to follow in UAE, especially in the Emirate of Abu Dhabi.
Thank you, Ms. Shabna. I will open the students if they have any question. They can type it down in the chat box and you may answer.
Okay, if anybody.
Ms. Shabna, you're ready to take. Okay. If anybody has any questions, you may please type them down in the chat box. And I will also leave a link again of the feedback form. Please, we would like to hear from you. How did you like the session? Before you leave, please leave your feedback.
Any questions?
Okay, we have a question here. Is vaccine available for people who are on visit visa?
No, as per the instruction from the Department of Health, vaccination is only provided to people who are with valid Emirates ID. So for visit visa, there will not be Emirates ID. So of course, the vaccinations will not be provided.
Okay. Ms. Shabna, if you can take a look at the chat box, there are some questions that are coming down for you. Can people with celiac take the vaccine?
Is vaccine available for? Okay. After we get vaccinated, we stay.
How old should we be if we can? What age group
Okay.
are
It will be
eligible
above
for
16
taking the
years.
vaccine?
What is the most likely ecological reservoir for corona? Ecological reservoir for corona viruses.
When can a pregnant lady take the vaccination?
Actually, pregnant ladies, because this vaccine, the study are all ongoing. So pregnant ladies are coming in the exclusion. They cannot take the vaccine. Even if after they deliver also, they will be breastfeeding. So feeding mothers are also excluded. So basically after 6 months, like if their baby is 6 months old, after that they can go for the vaccination. How you know if you have COVID-19? If you have COVID-19, as I told you, you will have the symptoms like fever, cough, runny nose, headache, body pain, loss of smell or taste, diarrhea, vomiting. All these are the symptoms of COVID-19.
Can you get infected with COVID-19 if you've already taken the vaccination?
It depends. Like if after taking the second dose of vaccine and if more in between the 14 days or 21 days, you can get infected. But some people are still getting infected, but the severity of the infection will be very, very less compared to a person who is not vaccinated. 3 years old cannot take the vaccine. Vaccine is only for 16 above 16 years of age. Children under 12 years also they cannot take.
Can someone with celiac take the vaccination?
Actually, the exclusion is only for those people who have certain immunosuppressive diseases. So they have to consult their doctor, get the advice from the doctor, and then go for the vaccination. Actually, as I told you, for visiting visa, as per the information from DOH, only we can go for the people with valid Emirates ID. So visiting visa now the vaccination is not being given because your vaccinations and all is linked with Al Hosn application and your Emirates ID. How did COVID-19 start? 10-year-old, no vaccination. How did COVID-19 start? You mean what are the symptoms for us or how it started in the beginning? I did not get the question. How did COVID-19 start? Actually, these viruses are transmitted from animals and birds to human beings because the origin of this virus was, as I told you, in Wuhan city in China from a livestock market. So the scientists they believe that these viruses have been transferred from certain types of birds and animals to human beings, and then it is it spreads from people to people. uh, so it is transmitted in that way. So every time
Ms. Shabna,
virus,
sorry for interrupting. Please go ahead.
because you, as we all know that you are aware about viruses. There are 12th standard, 10th standard students, and also virus means this, we can, there is no medicine or treatment for viral diseases. We know so many viral diseases which doesn't have a treatment. Why? Because virus means its structure is like that. It can, it has the capacity to itself, like mutate itself and change its shape, size. So whenever the scientists develop a drug for a particular virus, by the time this virus might have changed its shape and all the structure, so that drug will be useless. So so this virus must have originated from animals or birds, then it got mutated into different strains, and then it infected the human beings. So these viruses are very cunning, like we cannot design a drug or a medicine for targeting particular virus. No, but bacteria we can develop medicines like antibiotics and all. For viruses, it is very difficult. That is why HIV and all so many diseases that doesn't have treatment.
Ms. Sabna, we have a student who would like to ask. Diab, I will allow you to unmute yourself. Please go ahead and ask what you want.
Miss, is there a way to do a vaccine for small kids?
No, small kids, they don't have vaccine right now, only for above 16 years of age.
Okay. Miss, the link you sent, we should do it?
Sorry?
Yes, please. Yes, please. The link that I have sent, please use the link and record your feedback. Let us know if you, how did you like the session, and if there is anything else that you would like to know.
Okay.
Thank you, Diab. Thank you.
Yeah. There is a question. Yeah, you have to wear a mask.
Okay, we have another student, Mahra. Yes, Mahra, please go ahead.
If we had birds, should we be aware of it?
Sorry?
Mahra, please ask again.
If we had birds, do we have to be aware of them?
Yeah. Not clear.
Mahra, do you mean birds?
Birds.
Yeah, the birds.
I think she means if they have pet at home, do they have to be careful about them?
You have to be careful about them, not only for COVID-19, like there are some sort of microorganisms which get transmitted from pets, like from cats and other birds and other pets. So you keep them clean, neat. There are some sort of vaccinations for protection. Follow the hand hygiene, disinfection, everything.
We have a student here, Moza, who's asking what are the side effects of the vaccination?
Side effects of the vaccination means there will not be side effect for all the person, but for some, like there will be light fever, there will be some body pain, muscle pain, some sort of stiffness, but it will last for a very few days and then it will be okay. But in case if anyone develop any serious side effects, they have to immediately report it.
And there's another question by Ghala. It's an interesting question that do animals go through a PCR test or a COVID test?
Sorry, animals. Can you repeat?
Animals or pets?
Right now, there is no PCR test done for the animals.
So there's no COVID test done for the animals if they're infected or not?
No. But these are all things on which the studies are going on.
Mm-hmm.
So for right now, this COVID-19 RT-PCR test is done for human beings.
Right.
Headache. If you have headache, you check from headache or COVID-19. If you have headache and if you go to the doctor will assess you, and then he will, if at all required, then he will order for the COVID test.
We have a student, Ahmad. He would like to ask a question. Ahmad, go ahead, please. Ahmad, we're unable to hear you. Ahmad, you can type down your question, please. There's a distortion in your line.
Cats get vaccinated? No, no vaccination for cats.
I guess, Ms. Shabna, I think that's pretty much of the Q&A session that we can have. Thank you very much for this session. And it was nice having you again, Meteor Hospital. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Thank you again very much, and have a nice day.
Thank you so much on behalf of Meteor Hospital for giving me a chance to speak to the kids of Viva International School. And as I told you, once again, reminding all of you to stay healthy, stay safe, all the precautions, protocols, everything. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to thank all of our participants as well. Thank you so much for taking your time and joining us for this session. Thank you and have a nice weekend. Please leave your feedback. Thank you.